we get to a point of clarity that it's time to end things because nothing is changing and maybe it's draining your life force energy. You might decide that you're ready. And then your whole body starts panicking. Your mind starts looking for all the reasons your decision is wrong and you should actually stay. Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode of True Northing. This is Kristen here doing a solo episode. Our dear Allie is in Kauai this week, so sending big love to her. We have been loving all the dialogue around the low capacity partner lately. And so many of you have been asking about why you keep attracting low capacity partners. Some of you are in relationship with someone who struggles to have that emotional capacity for you and your needs. And you're wondering how to work with that, how to create change and support growing this person's capacity for the relationship without having to end it. And all of this has really inspired me to host a free webinar exactly on this topic where I go deeper on some of these questions you're having. So if that interests you and you want to learn more, you'll want to check that out. You can register at interconnectedlove.com and I'll put a link to that masterclass in the show notes below as well. Now, moving right along, let's talk about why it's so hard to leave a relationship when you know it isn't healthy for you and things aren't going to change. Aside from the obvious difficulties, if you have a family with someone or you're financially dependent on someone, there are times when we have worked incredibly hard over many years and we've taken responsibility for our own stuff in the relationship. And we get to a point of clarity that it's time to end things because nothing is changing and it's no longer serving anyone. And maybe it's draining your life force energy. You might decide that you're ready. And then your whole body starts panicking. Your mind starts looking for all the reasons your decision is wrong and you should actually stay. And part of this, of course, is brain chemistry and attachment, which I will touch on. But we're also talking about the invisible emotional payoffs that keep us hoping, staying, and shrinking. The first layer is related to your nervous system and attachment. So, romantic partners become regulation partners, meaning our nervous system looks to their nervous system for connection and a feeling of safety. And when we are attached to someone, your nervous system equates that attachment with safety. So leaving triggers a threat response in your body because your body and mind is reacting to perceived loss of safety. So just understanding and really expecting this piece to show up when you are navigating any big change, but especially if it involves your relationship and your attachment system, will help you to navigate it more easily because you can notice what's happening in your body. You can notice the anxiety. You can observe the questioning yourself and challenging your decision. And then you can help yourself regulate by upping your self care, talking to friends, journaling, meditating, getting lots of sleep, exercise, etc. Whatever you do to help yourself stay grounded. The next piece to consider is the hidden hope of healing your childhood wounds with this relationship. And this is the unconscious part because most of us are not aware that we're doing this. It happens completely without conscious thought. For example, if you didn't feel heard as a child, that was your primary feeling. your needs may have been minimized or dismissed. Maybe you felt misunderstood, and that was a big pain point for you in childhood. Then you learn to over explain yourself or over prove your point, over earn love in relationships as you moved forward in life. So in adult love, when this happens, you're not just asking for your partner to understand your needs and to hear you. You're actually trying to resolve a very old emotional ache from childhood. So the unconscious belief might be, if I can just say it the right way, they'll finally see me. And that hope can be really addictive. Leaving means accepting that they may never fully understand. You may never get that need satisfied with this person. And so you're grieving not just this relationship, but also this childhood longing. So it's like a double grief. There are also scenarios where we find ourselves just accepting little breadcrumbs from our partner. Love that comes in really small doses, little pieces of hope or showing up or connection. And that can come up if care in childhood for you was inconsistent, emotional, earned through being good or easy or having low needs. Then your nervous system may code unpredictable love, inconsistent love as normal love. It matches your template. So in adult relationships, mixed signals feels familiar. Small moments of closeness feel huge and keep you hanging on to the potential for the relationship, not so much the reality. Often we don't just attach to people, we attach to the hope of who they could be. And this is particularly true of women. Another unconscious element that could be playing out for you is the thought, maybe this is as good as it gets. So if you grew up not feeling chosen, feeling like a burden, having to compete for love or perform for love, you may carry this quiet belief that the kind of love you actually want might not be available to you. It might not exist for you. Maybe that's just not in the cards. Staying in the unhealthy relationship where your needs aren't being met becomes a way to avoid the risk of being disappointed, the possibility that maybe you'll never get what you want. Because leaving means facing that terrifying question, what if I try and I still don't get the love I want? What if I leave and the right person doesn't show up? What if I end this relationship? What if I walk away and what I want actually isn't out there? It doesn't get any better. So we stay not because we're hopeful necessarily, but because we're afraid we aren't worthy of what we actually want. For some of us in this situation, we are also trying to win the love that we didn't get in childhood. Some relationships become emotional battlegrounds where we try to be understood by someone who doesn't have the capacity. We try to be chosen by someone emotionally unavailable. We work hard to be prioritized by someone who is inconsistent. Because if we can win here, we can finally get what we want from this person, it feels like we are rewriting the past and proving that we were worth loving all along. We were worth having these needs met all along. I'm okay. I'm not broken. But the nervous system often confuses intensity and longing for love. So leaving can feel like failure. It can feel like giving up. It can feel like losing the chance to finally feel and be validated by someone, chosen by someone. And then we have the fear of the unknown versus familiar pain. So let's bring it back to regulation. Your system asks, will I find someone else? Will I be alone forever? What if this was my chance? Familiar disappointment feels survivable because we've done it before. We've lived this story before of being disappointed, of not getting our needs met, and we survived. Unknown possibility feels like we're jumping off a cliff. To your brain and body, that feels terrifying. So sometimes we stay not because it's good, but because it is known, which creates a feeling of false security. Now, if any of this is resonating with you, you might ask yourself some questions like, does part of me feel like I have to earn love? Am I trying to get this partner to give me something I've maybe never gotten before? Do I feel more attached to who they are in this present moment or who I hope they will become? If I believed I was deeply worthy of healthy love, what would feel unacceptable? What would my high self-worth version of myself decide was not okay? Ask some of these questions to yourself in a quiet moment and just let there be silence. Don't search for the answer. Just let the question land. See what comes up for you. What I want you to understand is that these patterns aren't flaws. It's not something is wrong with you. They're actually adaptations. They're ways that your nervous system learned to adapt in order to survive. And becoming aware of what might be playing out for you unconsciously with this relationship is a huge first step to breaking any kind of dysfunctional pattern and getting really clear about what you want. The part of you that wants to stay is not stupid. It's protective. It's hopeful. It's trying to get a need met that has been there a long time. And there are absolutely times to stay and there are absolutely times to leave. No one can give you that answer. That lives inside of you. But the more you can get quiet, grounded, connected to yourself, not your wounded self, reacting based on fear and your childhood wounds, but your clear, regulated self, the more peace you will feel about whatever decision it is you make. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. Sending you so much love wherever you're at, whatever challenge you're navigating at the moment. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. And please subscribe if you haven't already and share this episode with somebody who might need to hear it. We'll see you back next week.